Visions, I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and gonna create the most viral knockout ever. Sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up, warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got
if
the
find
8-year-olds
out
in there.
anything- If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm gonna beat Jaden on Love. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass.
It impacts Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out.
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
Jake Paul's biggest mouth ever, and now Gervonta Davis is done holding back. This fight just went from hype to war, and someone's getting knocked out fast. Gervonta Davis just exploded after Jake Paul boldly claimed he would knock him out in only 3 rounds. That statement turned the hype into real tension. Many boxing insiders believe this fight is risky for Davis. Losing to Jake could seriously hurt his reputation because most people see this as a mismatch. But if Davis manages to overcome Jake's size, strength, and growing power, that victory would be legendary, the kind of win fans remember forever.
I think Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks...
The answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah. But if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion, multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy. If he hits you clean, so we know the risk. But how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned, mind you?
Jake Paul, on the other hand, isn't treating this like a normal fight. He's promised to deliver the knockout of the year. He wants this to be the clip that dominates headlines and breaks the internet. Jake isn't just fighting for victory, he's fighting for validation, for fame, and to prove that he belongs in real boxing. He's betting on his power, his confidence, and his ability to create a viral moment that no one can ignore.
Fighters, because this thing is going to be watched by hundreds of millions globally. Jake, give the people one thing that you can guarantee that they're going to get on November 14th when they tune in to Netflix.
Yeah, you're gonna see the 2 biggest fighters in America go head to head with an amazing card, world championship fights back to back to back. And that's just how the MVP way we do it. And I'm going to come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions. I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and going to create the most viral knockout ever.
Raul Romero recently gave his opinion about this fight, saying that even if Jake Paul somehow knocks out Gervonta Davis, it wouldn't ruin Tank's legacy. Romero reminded fans that Davis is already a 3-division world champion, a fighter who's proven himself again and again. One loss can't erase years of dominance, belts, and incredible performances.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Fact.
Right or wrong.
Fact.
So just do what's best for you.
Romero also explained that Tank doesn't need to prove anything by beating Jake Paul. His legacy is already solid. But at the same time, he didn't dismiss Jake completely. Romero admitted that Jake's size and strength give him a physical advantage. Still, he believes Tank's skills, timing, and experience are on another level, and that's what could make the difference inside the ring.
Too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or it's an exhibition. We don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, like, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
Even UFC legend Daniel Cormier couldn't believe it when he heard that Davis agreed to fight Jake Paul. In a viral short, Cormier called the matchup crazy and said it feels like a total mismatch. He wondered why a top-level pro like Davis would even step into the ring with an influencer-turned-boxer. Cormier also mentioned the power difference, saying it could affect Tank's image if the fight turns into more of a show than a sport.
I swear to God, I was on a plane coming home from Las Vegas. When Luis told me Gervonta Davis is fighting Jake Paul, I said, get the bleep out of here. I said, you're a bleep liar. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. Gervonta Davis is that much better than Jake Paul at boxing. But Gervonta Davis in his last fight weighed 133.8 pounds. And I'm not over here in the business of just crapping on Jake Paul. I am much more respectful of what he's starting to build as a professional boxer. You're fighting a guy that's better than you. He's just much smaller. But that guy, because he's better than you, what if he wins? Everything Jake Paul has done is wiped completely out. Gervonta Davis loses to Jake Paul. Obviously, it's going to hurt who Gervonta Davis is. But he lost to a guy that's going to be upwards of 70 pounds bigger than him when he steps into the boxing ring. But I will tell you this right now, without a shadow of a doubt. I will watch this. Tank Davis is 30-0-1. You want to talk about Jake Paul fighting a real boxer? That's a real boxer. You can't make this stuff up, man. It's true.
KSI also jumped into the conversation, criticizing how hype and money often take over real boxing. In his video, he said Jake Paul is turning boxing into entertainment instead of competition. According to KSI, Jake uses controversy to grab attention instead of letting skill and hard work speak for themselves.
AJ and Jake was never gonna happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually gonna happen? Bro, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know. Well, okay, how do I say it like this? Itoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, oh, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18, Itoma's 20, inexperienced, 1-1. Like, I just knew Itoma was gonna just destroy him. And I think a good fight for Itoma would be him and Wilder.
Boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies shared a serious concern about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He said it's another example of how boxing is starting to care more about fame than fairness. With the weight difference and the exhibition label, he feels the fight risks damaging boxing's true spirit. Sure, it'll get views, money, and headlines. But at what cost to the sport's credibility?
Signed. I think we've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week, £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. it's a circus fight as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No,
Baker.
Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
Even Tank Davis himself has admitted that Jake Paul's power worries him. He's said many times that he wants to feel how hard Jake really punches. Tank also knows Jake's size and reach will be a real challenge, something he's never faced before. Still, Tank remains confident. He says that on November 14th, he'll adapt, adjust, and remind the world why he's one of the best. At the same time, fans say this fight represents the new era of boxing, the YouTube generation of fighters. Jake Paul brings millions of young fans who might never have watched boxing before. And Gervonta Davis brings the real fight credibility, pure skill, heart, and authenticity. Together, they're creating a clash between entertainment and legacy. One thing is certain, everyone will be watching.
Has been 4 years in the making, when a fairly novice Jake Paul made a wish list of future opponents, and right in the middle of that list was Gervonta Tank Davis. Many laughed at the time, and some still can't believe we're here. But these two young men are the face of boxing for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix.
Does Jake Paul have that concerns you?
What concern me, his power. Gotta test his power. Gotta test his, just everything, to be honest. I never been in the ring with Jake, so I could say a lot, but when it comes down to November the 14th, I gotta be in there with him. I gotta be able to, his arm reach, his size, his power, the way he moving and things like that. I just gotta adapt, as I fight him come